Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, very good. Okay, how are you all? Is everyone good? You had a good night rest? Ready for the day? Okay, so we will start the day as we always do. Do some meditation, nice meditation together. So please come in. Yeah, please. And yeah. Okay, so just might as well just get started. So sit back and, as always, find a nice, comfortable posture for yourself. Find that ease of the body and the mind, and we'll get going with the meditation for today. Okay. Okay, good. So just as I was saying the previous days, all meditation begins with establishing that sense of comfort and mindfulness and awareness in the present. Doesn't really matter what we are doing, whether it is metta meditation or breath meditation or death meditation. Yeah. So today, let us try to do some maranasati or maranasanya and see if we can make that work for ourselves. So just to by just a little bit of background, the basic idea of death meditation is just a reminder that we are going to die and that we don't know when we are going to die. And that gives, again, a sense of urgency to the practice. It gives a sense of removing the barriers in the mind, because all the barriers usually relate to this world. And if this world is no longer relevant, then of course the barriers just get removed. This can be a powerful way of actually helping, giving rise to awareness and presence and mindfulness and all of these good qualities. And very often all you have to do, if your mind is ready, is this reminder. The reminder, just acknowledge in your mind that everything is going to have to disappear and you're going to have to pass away at an unknown time. But sometimes it can be a bit difficult to imagine this, and so for that reason I'd like to give a little bit of a guided meditation just to give you a sense of what it means. What is the dying process? What is the things that we have to give up on the way? And eventually you can just use this straight away. You don't have to go through the same process. You just remind yourself of the idea of death, and then the process happens automatically to you. You don't have to go through the stages. But today we'll go through some stages. And those stages, as I just mentioned, always begin with the establishing of mindfulness. So as always, sit back, find that enjoyment of the peace and the quiet and the awareness, and then that becomes the starting point for the meditation practice. So nice to be here at the BGF Center, this sanctuary of peace and spirituality, where good people come together, and just being part of this and feeling the atmosphere and being with other good people. Such a marvelous thing, and such a rare thing in the world actually to find spaces like this. And the atmosphere is nice, the temperature is just perfect, the conditions are kind of really great. So tune in to that sense of goodwill and positivity, the sense of the presence of the Dhamma, the Buddha, all of these good things. And as you tune into that and you feel that sense of pervading the atmosphere with these good qualities, it's like you settle into something comfortable, something easy, something uplifting, something inspiring. And as you do that, the mind is drawn to the present, drawn to just being aware, drawn to being right here. And when you feel that the mind is in a reasonably good space, you can turn it towards the meditation object, whatever that might be. So today let's try to do a very gentle death contemplation and see what that gets us. And to start off, it is helpful to imagine yourself on your deathbed. You're approaching your death, coming very close, maybe only a few hours away. And when you are on your deathbed, you are in a place that is very simple, like a room with a closed door, a room without windows, a room where all the walls are just slightly, basically just white. There's nothing else going on in this room. And you're lying on a very simple bed with a thin mattress and wearing some kind of white garment, like a hospital garment perhaps. And you are lying on this bed. There's nothing to do. There's no one to speak to. The door is closed. And you're just waiting for one thing, waiting to die. Try to experience that. What does it feel like? to make this meditation work, it is important to remember that you are, in a very real sense, on your deathbed right now, because you never know when you're going to die. You have to be ready now. And so you have to bring this idea, make it real. And when it becomes real, that is when it becomes powerful. So again, you are lying on your deathbed, waiting to die. It can happen very soon, an hour, 2 hours. It is always going to be a bit uncertain. And as you are approaching your death, you realize that you have to abandon all the things in the world that are dear to you. And so you start abandoning them in your mind. And the first and obvious thing that we have to give up are all our possessions. Everything we own in this world has to go. Our house, our car, everything we love that is the dearest to us in our possessions, even the clothes that we own, everything has to go. We have to say goodbye to all that and move on. What does it feel like to abandon the ownership of all these things? Take note of every stage of the path, what it feels like to give things up, because this is sort of the point. The point is to understand what it means to let go and to leave things behind. So see if you can get into that feeling of giving things up. The other thing that you have to give up are all the people in your life. And often the goodbye can be a happy goodbye, not a sad one. The fact that you have to move on now, now is your time to move on by yourself. And as you do so, you can have a sense of gratitude for the people in the world. But they all have to go. You cannot take them with them. What does it feel like to let go of all the people in your life? as you are lying on your deathbed, you realize that time is getting closer and closer to the point where you're going to die. And you start to understand that there are even more things that you have to abandon. You realize that so many of the markers of who you are, your identity, your sense of self, is tied up with this world, and they have no meaning when you die. All of these things are the things like your gender, for example, your status in society, your education, whether you are wealthy or poor. All of these things are markers that belong to this world. All of these ideas of identity have to be left behind as you are going through this process. So leave those worldly identities behind. Let them go and try to feel that beautiful sense of emptiness that arises out of that. Can you experience that lightness of the mind when you let go of all of these heavy markers of identity? When you just become like the mind and there's nothing else to identify you with. There's a lightness to that, an unburdening of the heaviness of the world. And then as you get even closer to the point of passing away, and now it's almost like you don't really know. It could be any time now that you're going to die. And you realize in those last moments that even your body is going to have to be left behind. So see if you can let go of this heavy body. See if you can just identify instead with the mind. You become the mental you, the qualities in your heart, the qualities that you have built up over a lifetime. This is now what is with you, and the body needs to be left behind. Can you feel that lightness within her? It is as if all the burdens of the world have been left behind. All that remains is the mind. And the mind means all the good qualities in your heart, all the things you have built up during this lifetime. That is now what you are leaning on. That is now your refuge. And as you are approaching the time of death, there comes a point when you don't know anymore whether you are dead or alive. It's as if the transition never really happened. You wonder, am I alive? Am I dead? And you realize it doesn't really matter. And you come to understand that the process of dying is actually a very beautiful process of letting go. For those people who have lived well, dying is a beautiful thing. And you start to feel the sense of lightness of moving on in this way. And as you experience the delight of the process of letting go, you wonder why you ever were afraid of dying. You understand there's nothing there to be afraid of, especially for a good person. And you start to feel a sense of gratitude, a sense of metta for all the people in the world, especially those people who were there with you during the process of understanding what this is all about. The Buddhists in your life, the spiritual practitioners, your teachers, anyone who supported you. In fact, the whole world, you feel a sense of gratitude and metta towards, because the world has supported you in finding this beautiful process at the end of your life. So wish all beings, may you be happy, may you be well. And you can just keep that perception going, if you like, the perception of gratitude to all beings, the idea that you thank everyone for making the end of your life such a beautiful and powerful and delightful experience. Thank you, all beings in the world, for making this possible. I wish you all happiness and well-being. And if you wish, for the last part of the meditation, you can come back very gently to the breath and stay with the breath and see what it feels like now. Okay, so again, coming close to the end, and again, just take a minute or two just to review the meditation. Just sit back and keep your eyes closed and keep understanding what this process is about, how it works, what it means to let go, how the letting go happens. And the more you understand this process, the more easy it is to take charge of your own meditation practice. Okay, so that's the meditation for now. So once again, let's take a break until 9:30.